Premieres tonight at 10 on FX. Next day, FX on Hulu.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, it's your homie, Futuristic Mike, and I'm back with another Snowfall video if you're new. Now, this is going to be the review and recap for Snowfall, Season 4, Episode 3. If you're a fan of Snowfall, if you love Snowfall, hit the like on this video. If you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're finding me, subscribe and turn on those post notifications so when I post videos on Snowfall, you get them. Now, the title to this episode is All the Way Down. Now, personally, I thought this episode was incredible, man. I thought it was a great episode. We were missing Scully, though. They didn't show Scully. They were all scared, and they were hiding out from your boy Scully. Crazy-ass Scully, but he wasn't in this episode. But overall, man, it was a solid-ass episode. I enjoyed it. I think it was a great one. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Now, when the episode first starts, we see Gustavo, and he's in the house, you know, where Hernan and his girl got killed. We see Teddy pull up, and Gustavo didn't know who it was. You know, Gustavo was at the table waiting for him with a shotgun. He was ready to blow somebody to pieces. You know, Gustavo is not playing when it comes to his family. Teddy goes into the kitchen, and he sees the bodies. He pulls the covers off of the bodies, and he's just looking like he's shocked. And then we see Gustavo loading up bags. You know, he's getting heavy artillery. He's ready to go and kill these cops, these dirty cops that killed his family. And Teddy doesn't want him to do it. So, you know, Teddy's trying to stop him, and Gustavo pushes him, and then he runs out the house and he dips off. Now, next we see Franklin at some restaurant, and Officer Nixon comes and meets him. Officer bitch-ass Nixon. And Franklin wants to holla at him. He said, look, you know, I hired you to do a job. You didn't have to like the job, but I paid you good money to do it. I wasn't trying to set you up. Because, you know, Officer Nixon thought that Franklin was trying to set him up. Franklin told him straight up, like, dude, I wasn't trying to set you up. If you couldn't handle the job, that's on you. But if you ever threaten my family or come at my family again like that, we gonna have a problem. Nixon basically says, what are you gonna do if I do? And Franklin says, you'll see. That's pretty much the conversation. And then Franklin leaves, and he tells him that he can have his sandwich if he wants. Next, we see Gustavo waiting outside the police station. I mean, this dude has his gun ready. He's getting ready to go in there. He gets out the car, and he gets hit upside the head. Next thing you know, we see Gustavo. You know, he's waking up. He's tied up inside a warehouse. We see these dudes sitting there all around him. And then Teddy comes in there, and he tells Gustavo that those people were DFS. And then he tells Gustavo that he's CIA. And of course, Gustavo is super shocked about this. All he can do is laugh because he had no idea. But then again, you know, Teddy gave off the signs that he was CIA. Maybe Gustavo should have figured this out a lot sooner, because when you think about it, you know, Franklin figured it out. So Gustavo should have figured it out as well. You know, Franklin didn't need no help. Now, next we see Detective Stern, and he's meeting Irene, and basically he just feeds her info, man, about Franklin, all kinds of stuff, saying that, you know, he got charged with murder for killing his best friend, and he beat the murder charge. And she had no idea about this. She said she couldn't find any of this stuff in her research. And the detective is like, are you sure you didn't see none of this? Like, how is that possible that you didn't come across any of this? And she says, nope, she didn't see none of it. But she's surprised to hear all this about Franklin. She's really starting to build a case on Franklin. She's not a cop or a detective or anything, but she is a reporter, and she can be dangerous. But she needs to quit, man. She really needs to quit because she's getting too involved into this stuff. And I'm telling you, man, we already know if Franklin feels like somebody's a threat, he'll kill him. We already seen that with Andre Wright, and he'll do the same thing with her. Now, next we see Franklin pull up to the bookstore. I know you guys remember the bookstore from season 3. We seen Franklin go in there to try to dig some dirt on Teddy. And we see him go in there again. Now this time he's going in there to tell the Mosleys that he can help them save their store. They were like, oh, for real? Like, you can help us so that the city doesn't take the store from us? And Franklin says he can do it. Of course, they're super relieved to hear this because they want that store. Obviously, they want that store if it's been in their family. Now, next we see Leon. He's talking to Fatback, and they're basically just talking about the stuff that went down with Franklin and his crew, the shootout with Scully and stuff like that. Then we see Leon go up to some dude and push him out the way because some dude was getting ready to put his hands on Wanda. Leon ain't having it. We can tell that, Leon still has feelings for Wanda. We can just tell, man. He never lost feelings for her. He's just salty that it went down the way it did. But Wanda's just like, man, Lee, what happened to us? And then Lee tells her to just stay out of trouble and to act right. Next we see Jerome and Louie. They pull up to serve Manboy. Manboy's with one of his boys, and they pull up to give him his weight. And Manboy says that he felt like he was in Vietnam during that shootout with Scully. He said it was crazy. Bullets were flying everywhere and stuff like that. And then he says something about Franklin. He says that, everybody was putting in work, shooting and stuff, and Franklin wasn't doing nothing. He just ran. And he said, business was going fine with just him, Jerome, and Louie, but Franklin comes back and things start to get shaky. And Louie says, you don't know what you're talking about. So, of course, Louie's gonna have Franklin's back, but Manboy, man, he just wants to take Franklin out the game. Manboy wants to be the man, and he's definitely gonna be a problem this season. We see Sissy. She pulls up to some big-ass house, and she talks to this dude named Paul. And if you guys remember him, he's from The Chi. He's also from The Family Business. But on The Chi, he played that guy named Q in the first season of The Chi. This guy is in a lot of shows and a lot of movies, and I like him as an actor. But in this show, he's playing a real estate agent, a really powerful real estate agent, and Sissy wants to do business with him because he has contacts with the mayor and powerful people. But he wants to know what Sissy really wants. But yeah, she wants to go into business with him, so they have a conversation about their future business. The next we see Teddy and Gustavo sitting at the DFS, and Teddy is like, don't you want to say anything? And Gustavo is like, man, I should have known because you're way too uptight to be a drug dealer. Then they call Teddy in the office. They call him by his real name. They say Teddy McDonald, and Gustavo's just like, Teddy McDonald. Like, he was so shocked to hear that was actually Reed's real name. So they're in there talking to Teddy and Gustavo about the men that killed Gustavo's family, and she's telling them where Fuentes is at and where the dirty cops are at and stuff like that. She said she doesn't want no executions or anything super violent in her city. But of course, Gustavo is going to want to do that anyways. Then next we see Wanda, and she's just chilling with some crackheads. They're just sitting there talking about some random stuff, smoking rock. One of them's talking about a $500 dog or something, saying she was going to sell the dog for rock for the week. And then Wanda's tooth falls out. And I think this is the wake-up call for Wanda right here. I'm calling it, man. She's going to get clean this season. She's definitely going to get clean. I'm calling it way before it happens. Because when that tooth fell out, she looked in the mirror at herself like, what am I doing to myself? So that was definitely the wake-up call. Now next we see Elton, and he's talking to Sissy and Franklin about the deal that they made with Paul. And he's saying that it's not a good idea because the Mosleys have been in there for a long time in that bookstore, so he doesn't think it's a very good idea. Then there's a knock at the door, and it's the LAPD. They said they're looking for Sissy Saint. Officer Nixon said there was a complaint, and she has to come down to the station for questioning. So he's arresting Sissy. And of course, Elton and Franklin, they're freaking out. And Franklin's like, look, I'm going to handle this. He goes outside and he says, you're making a big mistake. And then Elton and Franklin are just standing there when they drive Sissy away. Now we see Sissy in the back of the cop car, and she's like, where are you taking me? What's going on? And the cop that's in the passenger seat, he gets out and he goes over to his police car. So now it's just Officer Nixon driving Sissy around. And she demands that he tells her where they're going. He ends up pulling up to a cemetery. And of course, she's probably thinking to herself like, damn, he's about to kill me. But he takes her out the car. He shows her Andre Wright's grave. And he says that Andre was a good man and your son killed him. So he pretty much grabs Sissy, slams her against a tree. He roughs her up. and that's it. Like, he didn't really do anything beyond that. But he didn't have to do that at all, man. Once Franklin gets a hold of Nixon, it's not gonna be good. Now we see Sissy waiting for everybody to come pick her up outside the chapel. We see Jerome, Elton, Franklin, Louis, all them pull up to get Sissy, and they ask what happened and what the cop did to her. And she said, he didn't do nothing, he was just trying to scare me. Franklin's like, what did he say? And she said, nothing I didn't already know. And then she tells Franklin to handle this deal with Davis to finish it. So then we see Franklin go into the bookstore to talk to the Mosleys, and he's telling them that, you know, he's gonna give them money for the bookstore. They can keep their store, and he's just gonna give them money and pretty much pay them off. They're wondering what that means for them, and he says that they're still gonna own their store. They're not gonna have to go nowhere. You know, somebody else is just buying the building. They look at the check and see how much money it is, and, you know, Mrs. Mosley says, you would really do this much for us? And Franklin says, of course. Now, we get to Henry and Irene. I guess this is Irene's ex-husband, and she just wants to talk to him about everything that's going on in her life, her daughter, and everything like that. I guess her daughter became a banker, and she also wants to talk about Franklin. Of course, Franklin is on her mind. Of course, he's involved in the conversation. You know, she's obsessed with finding out information on Franklin. She said that he could be a potential cop killer, and Henry says maybe it's a mistake. But as you guys know, if you're All-American fans, you see that I do All-American videos. This is Grandpa Willie on All-American. So they got a lot of different people from a lot of different shows so far in season 4. Now next we see Gustavo and Teddy. They're sitting outside some club, and Gustavo's getting ready to go in. Teddy says not to do anything. Well, Gustavo goes in, he walks to the back, he follows this dirty cop up the stairs. And this is the cop that pulled them over in the first episode. If you guys remember, the one that pulled them over and seen that they were carrying around avocados and stuff. He wasn't the one that went onto the truck, but he was one of the ones talking that shit. Well, Gustavo beats the hell out of him, and then he throws him off the roof. And that's not all he does. He goes down to where he fell, and he literally kills him. He like slits his neck or does something, and then he carves something in his forehead that says 100,000. He's getting back at the cops that killed Hernan and his girl, because whoever killed Hernan wrote 100,000 in blood, and he did the same thing on this cop's forehead. And then we see the chief. He says, I don't know what's going on, but we better get out of town until we know. Then we see Teddy and Gustavo, they're talking, and Teddy says, look, we gotta find a different way to go about this. Gustavo says, man, you can't even blame me for how I'm acting. Like, they killed my family. Now the kids are gonna be orphans. This is not sweet. Teddy says, look, I understand they gotta die, but it has to be by my rules. Then we see Franklin go to meet with Paul, and he just finalizes the deal. So now he's in business with Paul, and Paul's the one that bought the bookstore. Then we see bitch-ass Nixon. I'm just gonna start calling him bitch-ass Nix for y'all, alright? Because this is a bitch-ass cop. He goes into the captain's office, and the captain tells him that he has to move to desk duty or something like that. Basically, man, Franklin messed him up. Franklin warned this dude to chill out, but he had to come grab Sissy and take her to the cemetery. So I'm pretty sure Franklin struck back at Officer bitch-ass Nix. Now next we see Teddy and Gustavo getting ready to go to war. Then we see Franklin go into the bookstore, and he tells the Mosleys that they have to get up out of there. He says that he got them a bigger property. They can go to a bigger building about a mile down the road, but Paul Davis bought the building and they have to leave. He said that they were going to lose the bookstore regardless. I mean, I understand what he's saying, I guess, but he should have explained that to them from the very beginning. I mean, they have had that store, you know, their whole lives. The store has been in the family, so I can see why they're upset. I mean, I know Franklin is just making moves. You know, he's in real estate. He's trying to do what he has to do to close out all these deals, but he should have told them from the very beginning what it was. Franklin is just becoming more and more savage. You know, he just doesn't care. Now, next we see these dudes sitting at the table. They're drinking, playing cards and stuff. and we see them getting blasted one by one. One of them gets up, they try to run away, and he's screaming, "They're here." So next we see Teddy come in, and he shoots him, man, right in the head, and dude's dead. Then Teddy gets shot in the chest. Luckily, he had a vest on, and then he kills that dude. And we see nothing but gunshots in the house. You know, we see the house getting lit up. Then we see the chief. He's running outside with one of his other cops. They get in the police car, and Gustavo's in the back seat. He shoots the dude that was getting ready to drive out of there, and then he goes up to the chief, puts the gun to him, and dude, of course, is begging for his life. And Gustavo, he's not playing no games because these are the people who killed Hernan, so he has to do what he has to do. He shoots his kneecaps off, and then he chokes dude to death. And then we see Gustavo just scream, man. He's had enough. He's sick of the bullshit. He's sick of people doing him dirty. So he just took it out on all these cops. And Teddy was putting in work too, man. This dude was blasting fools. Now next we see Irene meet up with Detective Stern, and she's just trying to get some more information on, you know, Lorena, Franklin, all kinds of stuff. The detective told her that there was a DEA agent in the mix that was handling stuff with Franklin and stuff like that. He said that she recently went out of pocket. You know, she just disappeared, and she's like, what? Presumed dead? So he tells her to be careful and not to get too involved. And of course, she's not going to listen. She just keeps digging herself further and further into this. And pretty soon she's going to be so far in, she's not going to be able to get herself out. I mean, look what happened to Andre Wright, man. She better chill out. But that's the end of the episode. I think it was a really good episode. I cannot wait for the next one, man. This show is so good. Seriously. I wasn't reviewing this show when season 3 was on TV. I wasn't reviewing much of any shows back then, but I'm still gonna finish season 3 as well. I'm gonna review all of season 3. Once I'm done with season 4, maybe in the middle of reviewing season 4, I'll do the rest of season 3. But those reviews are coming still. You know, I gotta rewatch the episodes and then do season 3. But I'm still gonna do those. But yeah, what did you guys think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Comment down below and let me know. How can you not like this episode though? But yeah, comment your thoughts down below. Keep supporting your boy, and I'll be continuing to bring y'all Snowfall content in the future. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you can never miss a video. If you guys want to donate to the channel, I got links below to the PayPal and Cash App accounts. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me get out of here, y'all. It's your boy FuturisticMike, and I'll talk to you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.